okei, sellepärast et tänase eesmärk ongi anda selline põgus ülevaade, et millega siis Clearpassi näol on tegemist, mis sellega teha saab, milleks hea on ja nii edasi. Ja nagu te aru saate, siis info Clearpassi osas tuleb täna siis nii-öelda otse allikast, ehk siis webinari viivad läbi HB Aruba enda inimesed Andrius ja Herman. Webinar jaguneb sisuliselt kaheks, et esmalt natukene teooriat ja teises pooles näitame ka siis demo, et aru saada, mis siis nii-öelda karul kõhus on. Ja kõige lõpus on ka siis väike selline vabatahtlik tunnikontroll, kus siis parimad saavad ka premeeritud. Ja kui teil tekib, kui teil on praegu juba küsimusi või kui teil tekib webinari jooksul küsimusi Clearpassi teemadel, siis kasutage julgelt seda Q&A nupukest või sektsiooni siin ja kindlasti proovin kõikidele küsimusele vastata. Või kui hommik on veel natukene liiga varajane küsimuste küsimiseks, siis te võite vabalt igal ajahetkel võtta ühendust ka mõne oiksu inimesega ja saame selle Clearpassi teema rohkem pulkadeks lahti räägitud. Et jah, ma ei hoiakski siin rohkem midagi kinni, et annaksin sõnajärje üle Andriusele ja Hermanile. I see that Andrius, you are listening very, very carefully.
Yeah, I'm listening what you are talking there.
Yes, so you understood everything perfectly. So
yeah, it was a pretty long intro. I was like,
yeah,
what he's talking there about?
Yeah. It was a second joke about Lithuania. So
okay.
You're in a good position to take
many
it over
jokes
from
about
here.
Lithuanians today.
Yeah.
Okay.
So feel free to take it over from here.
All right, so probably Herman takes stage to present us very good topic, very actual for today, Clearpass, and later it will be demo. Yeah. So probably Herman, don't just go ahead with a good topic, and I'm leaving you here. I'll ask some questions for sure, something. So stage is yours.
Good. So Tavi already explained the Q&A panel.
Yep.
Yeah. So if you have questions, use the QA. If you want to contact us, use the chat. Basically, that's it. So good morning, everyone. My name is Herman Robers. I'm from also a snowy Netherlands today. I'm one of the EMEA guys, working as a consulting systems engineer, and one of my focus products is Clearpass. So what's Clearpass about? Why should we put Clearpass on your network? So what we do see is that the network is dramatically changing. So where in the past we had the access profile bound to a port, that means that if you have a specific device, you put it in a specific port in the switch, and the network operator configured that port. So it was a computer port, or it was a VoIP phone or a video phone port, or it was a guest port, or maybe a server port. What we see is that it's very static and not very flexible. And for that reason, what we want is that we want to move to a more software-defined access layer, and that's where the network will be user-defined, device-aware. It can be programmable. It will be open only when you plug in a device, and then it will apply the correct access profile to that. It's part automation, but it's also for security. And why do we need that? So first of all, we have a lot of devices, but also with the upcoming of applications like for business, Teams, all kinds of collaboration tools. What we have seen is that a device that previously was a computing device now suddenly will start to be a video device and as well a voice device. So we are now. I'm now using my computer over the wireless network to do video conferencing, and that's a different application. And with static ports and static profiles, it's pretty hard to make that work perfectly. So, and that's why we as Aruba have the Edge Services platform, which is built on a pretty old technology already, but it's now more integrated than ever, and that's what the Edge Services platform, or ESP, is about. And one of the core elements of that is that we have a network infrastructure that has built in a role-based firewall. We have our cloud-based management with Aruba Central, or on-premise with Central On-Prem, and also we are policy manager, which is Clearpass Policy Manager. That will be the main topic for today. But first, let's have a look at why it's important to have smart network infrastructure. So the infrastructure for Aruba is what we call role-based. And what is role-based is that every and each connection through the network will be assigned a role. And that role is assigned with stateful firewall rules. So if we have the traditional wireless LAN controllers or the access points or our gateways, we have a stateful firewall in there, which is an access layer stateful firewall. And based on the device that's coming on the network, we can change the rules there. So in an education environment, we can make sure that the students will not have access to the administrative systems where teachers will have that. So based on the role, you can change the access for the device. As well, what we can do is we can do the quality of service on a flow basis. So if we can see detect in the stateful firewall that it's voice traffic, we can prioritize that traffic and make sure that it will have priority over other bulk traffic, for example. And this allows us to put the right priority to the traffic as well, and not on a port basis, but on a flow basis. And finally, we can also assign a VLAN. If you think carefully, then having firewall rules and quality of service basically obsoletes the use of VLANs, because you could put everyone in the same VLAN, and for guests in the stateful firewall, make sure that they don't access internal networks. For voice applications, that they get the high priority, and that's where we typically had the VLANs for. So we had guest VLANs, we had voice VLANs. So it's technically not needed anymore, but many networks still are deployed with VLANs. And then the important thing is that we can dynamically and in an intelligent way assign that role. And that's where Clearpass comes into play, where we are basically determining a device context. So we are determining who's the user, what's the device, location, time, which applications, and that will make sure the exact role is applied. So one step further in the wired network is that with access point, we are used to tunnel traffic for a longer time, but now with dynamic segmentation, the feature that we have introduced several years ago, we can also bring that to the wired network. So just not taking the wireless network to a centralized controller or gateway. We can also take the wired network, and with that we can have a unified policy for the wired and the wireless network without an actual need to know what's in the underlay, what's the carrying network infrastructure. And this will make it very flexible to do this on wired and on wireless, both at the exact same methods. As mentioned, Clearpass topic for today. What is it? We call it access policy management on any network. And on any network, that means that it will work on wireless, it will work on wired, but not only on Aruba infrastructure, it can also work on others' equipment, basically because it's using international standards to do the policy enforcement. So how does it work? Let's say we have a client that's coming on the network. Then first we want to do some kind of identification. So we can, for that, connect to existing identity stores. So Active Directory is one of the most obvious identity stores. So then we can find out who is the user behind that specific device. Then the next step is that we are getting information about the device. So we are getting device information, and we can do that through profiling. So devices will have specific behavior on the network. We can detect that, and we can automatically detect what type of device it is. And once we know the identity and we know the device information, then suddenly you can do smart things like if you have a corporate user with a corporate device, then we can allow corporate access. But if it's a corporate user with a self-managed smartphone, then we can provide different access because it's the same user, different device, and you probably want to apply different network access for those specific users. And finally, we can also see how a device is getting on the network, where it's coming on the network, if it's in a head office location, if it's on a specific floor, if it's on a specific access point. We can see what the time of the day is, and we can take every context element that we have here. We can take that into account and apply a policy. And that policy, that is for Aruba infrastructure, of course, it is the role. And important to realize is that ClearPass is not in line with the traffic. It's the network infrastructure that's doing the actual enforcement for this network traffic. So ClearPass is telling the infrastructure, please apply this role to all traffic for this specific device. If we don't have Aruba equipment, then we can fall back to stuff like VLANs or dynamic access lists. So on third-party network equipment, we can push a specific VLAN. We can push a dynamic access list to limit the traffic that a device can do for other equipment. We can do things like filter ID. So again, these are all standards-based for the protocol we call Radius, and very many equipment will support that Radius protocol, and this is an ideal multi-vendor. So that also means that you can deploy it on probably your existing network infrastructure, even if it's not Aruba. And that doesn't mean that you have the full role-based access functionality. What it does mean is that you can permit deny access on the network. You can probably assign a VLAN. If you have not the very lowest end of switches, you can push access lists and can do web redirects to make features like wired guest possible. And then, if you have that Aruba infrastructure, you have the benefits that you can do the full role-based with security, bandwidth optimization, and stuff like that. So that's what ClearPass does in a nutshell. So what we also can do is we can link ClearPass to other parts of your network, because you have a lot of devices and services already deployed, probably also made a lot of investments. One was mentioned already, the Active Directory. There are many investments that you have already, and we can use ClearPass to glue everything kind of together. How does that work? So if we have a device that's coming onto the network, obviously the network equipment is speaking to ClearPass and trying to do authentication. Then we can get information about the user and the device from Active Directory, IP management, IP address management systems, databases, but also from device management systems. So like an AirWatch or a Mobile Iron. If you have devices managed, then probably you want to provide them with a different policy. But also if the device management system is classifying a device as compromised, then probably you want to have different access to the network than if it's a perfectly compliant device. So also in this class, you could state many of the security suites. So if you have McAfee, for example, doing the antivirus and all kinds of other USB control, other security tasks on the endpoint. We can connect to that system and pull out the device status information and use that for the policy decision. So what role, what's allowed, and depending on the status of the device, you can allow more or fewer traffic to the network. Then when we know the status of the device, we know the user, we can also start sharing that information with third-party solutions. So if you have a next generation firewall, and a few of them are here listed, when ClearPass learns from the network about a device, about a user, about the IP address, we can share that information with the perimeter protection. So we can tell the next generation firewall, if you see this IP address, then that's Herman with his corporate MacBook, for example. And that allows this third-party perimeter protection to become much smarter, because you can see in the logs, if you see an IP address, you can see who's the user, what's the device for that specific user. And you can also bind policies to that. So, and this works, regardless the application systems. So some of the firewalls can link into Active Directory to see who's logged on where. But this also works for guest devices, works for IoT devices, works basically for anything. And we can do similar things. If you have a SIEM system, we can share the IP user device information with the SIEM system, which allows those systems to do correlations as well. So if they see an IP address in the antivirus system, they can link that to a specific user, and they can link that to a specific device as well. And then they can trigger events. So our perimeter protection can trigger an event if we see, for example, malware trying to be propagated. It can send back an event to ClearPass. The SIEM system can send back events to ClearPass, and ClearPass can then automatically unattended respond to that event, and basically placing that device in kind of quarantine. So you can change dynamically the role for this specific device, and permitting only limited amount of traffic for that device. Basically, isolating the security threat fully automated. How does ClearPass work? So he mentioned that it is an out-of-band solution. Switches will communicate to ClearPass. ClearPass will respond with a role or VLAN assignment, and the switch will be the enforcing part, so making sure that you can't do unless it's permitted. ClearPass comes in an appliance version, which can be a hardware appliance. It can be also a virtual appliance. With the standard access licensing that we have, which is a concurrent user license, we have everything integrated, like the Active Directory. You can link to that. ClearPass Exchange, what I just mentioned, all the integrations. It's part of standard licensing. Profiling, that you can determine what type of devices are coming on the network. Integration with mobile device management systems, but also guest management. There's a very extensive guest system in ClearPass, which I will show later on in a demo as well. All standards-based, Radius, TechX, 802.1x, MAC authentication, and that makes that it will work on basically any type of equipment. Then there are two things in addition to modules that are separately licensed. First is ClearPass Onboard. And ClearPass Onboard is if you want to do 802.1x strong network authentication, you basically need to have client certificates. So certificates deployed to the client, which can be kind of hassle. So if you have an Active Directory, you can use group policies to deploy certificates. If you have a mobile device management system, you can use that. So for managed devices, it's typically not an issue. But if you have bring your own devices which are not managed, then you can use ClearPass with a self-service workflow for the users to request, enroll, and deploy a certificate to their devices, so their devices are automatically configured. So that's one of the additional licenses. And the second is Clearpass OnGuard, which is an agent that can run on your endpoint, Windows, Mac, Linux, and that can check the status on the device itself. So we can link through Clearpass Exchange with your antivirus or endpoint protection vendor. But if you want to have real-time information from the device, then Clearpass OnGuard is an agent that you can deploy. So in a summary, before we go to the demos, Clearpass, it will bring security for both wired and also wireless networks, bringing that controlling the role-based access on the infrastructure or setting VLAN access lists automatically. Also, it's a very nice single point of access for monitoring and control of your network access. So everything is coming together in one place, and that's where you control, but also can see what's happening. So you can exactly see who's coming on the network and when. And I think probably the best of it is that it's fully automated. So it's very simple, both for the IT. Once you have deployed the policy, everything will happen automatically, and also for the user, perfect experience, because they just plug in, they just connect to the SSID, and they will get the role that's for them. And that's not only convenient, it's also very secure, because you can't no longer forget to remove the policy from a manual configured switchboard. So that's it. So let me briefly stop if there are any urgent questions at this point, or I should continue with the demos.
Herman, yes, I have some questions. So I know for customers who is joining a webinar, Clearpass probably new product, and they have like this words on board, on guard, and maybe we can a bit clarify very quick what is the difference between on board and on guard. Just very quick, maybe it could be confusing. For what reason? On board and on guard. These two.
Yeah, let me get back. So on board, that's the module to get certificates on devices for specifically for bring your own devices. On guard, everything starting with on, but that's on the device, and this typically is for more managed devices or for contractor devices where you need to be certain that the antivirus is running, that
it's like
the firewall is
check.
turned on, and so on. It's a health check. Yeah.
Like now in the COVID, we have this temperature to test. If you want to go somewhere.
Basically it's a health check, exactly.
Okay, that's great.
Yep.
And one more question: do we have just physical appliance or also virtual for Clearpass?
Yeah, so I think I mentioned it, but you can choose if you want to have a hardware box or a virtual appliance.
Okay.
And we typically prefer to go for the virtual appliance. That works easily. Also, if you have a good VM infrastructure, you have your hardware redundancy built in. But we also customers that are using hardware appliances because they either don't have the virtual infrastructure, or they have a very small site where they need to have a Clearpass on site. And then you can choose either put a hardware appliance there, or you deploy a complete VMware farm there, and then typically the hardware is the better choice. But in general, it's a virtual machine, and that's the preferred way.
Okay, that's great. Yeah. So from my side, I don't have. Oh, and here, one more question: how difficult is the move for using Clearpass from LAN-based system? How difficult is the move for using Clearpass from LAN-based system?
Yeah, so it's not difficult. You need to know what you're doing, but it's pretty straightforward. Also, This, of course, is where your partner Oxio can assist. You probably shouldn't do it yourself, but if you have the specialists who can guide you through who have done this multiple times, yeah, then it's absolutely not difficult. It's pretty simple. It's also that you can start in a very small corner of your network and see if it works, and then expand it from there. Or you can start with very small functionality. So maybe just do profiling on a network and see what's on the network, and then start deploying policy based on the profiling information. And after that, maybe configure authentication. So you can deploy it very gradually, both in scope where you are doing it, as in the functionality. So it's
Okay, good.
So
Okay.
let's
let's go to
on
demo.
the demos.
Yeah.
So I have 3 demos for you. First demo is administrative access. Second is on what we call color sport, and the third one is about guest access. So first, switch administrative access. So that's what many people will recognize as TechX Plus. Which is if you have a network admin who needs to do some changes on a switch, the network admin will log into the switch. So you can have accounts on the switch, but you can also configure the switch to query Clearpass. So it will ask Clearpass to do the authentication. Clearpass will then allow the user, if the password is correct, and from there start doing command accounting. So let me see if I can show you. Oh. That was the wrong button. Let me do the demo first. So this is typically what your admin will do. So they will try to connect to a switch. They will type in their username and a password. And then they are in the switch. They can run commands like show running configuration, so they can see what's in the configuration. They can also go into configure mode, configure T, and then what they could do is, for example, interface 6 disable. So they can disable interfaces, which might bring problems in the network. And they can also, let's now for now enable it again, and they can do it. So it's an access control, but it's also about running commands. So let me go out. Oh, yeah, I want to log out. So how this will look in Clearpass. So this is the Clearpass web UI. I need to refresh it. So here in monitoring, we have something called the access tracker. And in the access tracker, we can see everything that's coming into the network. So what I do see here is that I have here a TechX authentication. So that was the switch authenticating to the TechX. Click. So in this, it's a bit slow today, but in this we can see that we have a successful authentication for this username at this specific time. And also here on the authorization, I can see that I have a shell access. So that's logging into the command line. But what's even better is that if I go to the accounting part here, every command that I issued is tracked here in the accounting. Let me see. There we go. So here I see my request. I'm not sure why it's so sluggy at the moment. Normally this is quicker, but I can see, this is the IP address of my switch. This was the IP address of my laptop logging in. And here under the details, you can see that I signed in at this point. I did a show running command. After that, I did a configure terminal command. Then I did an interface 6 disable first. Where's the disable? There's the disable, then an enable, and I did access exit to get out of the switch. So we can exactly see what happened to log into the switch in all commands. So it's very good to check this for the user. Okay, the second demo, that's about colorless ports. And colorless ports is the concept that we have in Aruba, that you can connect a device to any port in the switch. Then the switch will ask Clearpass, what should I do with this user? Then for a laptop, it can assign the corporate user role. For camera, it can assign a security role, for example. For barcode scanner, it can put it in the IT VLAN. So that's basically what it can do. So let me show you what I mean with that. So here I have an overview, graphical overview of a switch, which at this point has only one interface connected. Let me connect a few other devices. Moment, I think I have 3 different devices. So you can see port 3 is coming up, and you also can see that here on port 3, it has found out that on port 3 I connected a network camera, and for this network camera, it's all going over each other. For this network camera, it will provide the role for a network camera connected to the network. Similarly, here to port number 6, you can see I have a G-Link Tiptel IP phone, which also is provided with its role. And here on this specific port, I connected a laptop computer, which I securely authenticated with what we call .1x. So we have a true authentication here. And this is a computer, and it's authenticated, so we can provide the permissions for a corporate user. So you can see the network is automatically applying the policy based on who is getting on the network. So that's what we called colorless network, colorless ports. And the good thing of this is, first of all, the automation. So users can just plug in, and all ports are configured the same. But it's also the security. So only when I plug in the correct device, like a corporate laptop with authentication, only then I have access to the corporate network. Then the third demo case is guest access, which can be deployed on wired and on wireless as well. So basically, we have a guest who needs access to the network. From Clearpass, we can deploy a completely branded portal. The guest will do a registration. Then we can have a sponsor in the organization who can see the sponsor request and approve the access for this guest, at which point the user will get internet access. So very easy. I have a demo for that as well. So this is a page that the user could see. So you can ask who they are visiting. So this is the so-called sponsor, and you can also ask for people's own details, and we can even ask more questions. And this is completely configurable. So when we register, what we can see here is that we have, again, the sponsor, we have a username, we have a password. What we could do as well is send this password, not here to the screen, but we can send it with a text message to a cellular phone of the user. So we can use SMS. And then you can also validate the phone number of a user. What we can also see is that the account currently is disabled, and that's because we have the sponsoring enabled. And this is the mailbox of the sponsor. And what we can see is that we got a new request coming in. And in this request, we see simply here a request of who wants to have access to the network. And we have an option here to confirm or deny that access. We need to log in first. So this can be any AD user. And we can see here the details of this account. And we can, if we want, we can override. So if we know this is a contractor, we can put a contractor attributes to here. And this is also configurable who can do what. So maybe the help desk can apply contractors and normal employees can only apply guests. Then we can press confirm here. And basically with this step, what we did is we just enabled the account so the user can log in. So let's have a look here. And we can see indeed that the login button, which was grayed out before, is now in orange, and we can log in. Wait while we are logged into the network, and we have internet access. So easy is it. From this page, the guest accessing the network, and we also saw the email coming in to a sponsor and the approval workflow as well. So these are the 3 demos that I had. Maybe Andreas, do we have any open questions at the moment?
There is actually one question I got, and it's regarding the scalability of Clearpass as a solution. Mm-hmm. So, for example, in terms of amount of endpoints, what's considered to be the minimum size of the company that could benefit from taking Clearpass into use?
Yep. That's a good question, because as a vendor, we typically think about scalability on the high end, and you can have over 1 million of endpoints in Clearpass, so it is very scalable from that perspective. But also on the low end, you can start with a small appliance and only 100 concurrent users. That's the point where you can start. So you can start very small. And you can grow very big as well. So it's from that perspective, it's really scalable.
And there is another question in the Q&A section. Does Clearpass have support for Sophos XG firewall integration?
That's one that I need to look up. So what is good that we have Aruba networks / Clearpass docs. That's where most of the documentation is shared. And we could have a look here. Clearpass platform profiling. I think I heard Sophos once, but he has something with Sophos Central. Not sure what Sophos Central is, but probably if you have the Sophos firewall, you probably know what it is. But all integrations, all documentation, it's available here. Once there are new integrations, they will pop up on this page as well. And also, if you have these questions, I need to integrate with product X. Just add to Oxio. They will be able to either find out or advise what to do here.
Good. I think we answer all questions. Also, we are running on a time. Thank you then, Herman. I think it's very good demo and very good presentation. Very clear what is about and what is a product benefits. So if we don't have more questions, so I believe we can go on our interactive part. Let me share a screen then. Let's share a screen. Yes. So And a fun part is a Kahoot game with the questions. Questions will be about today's topics, like Clearpass, and also I want to present instant on product is access point for home users or very small office or cafeterias, restaurants. So I will tell a bit more about this product access point just to make you more competitive in a Kahoot game. And later I'll explain what is a Kahoot game. Also second and third place, also getting very nice gifts from Oxio. So let me tell me more about this instant on access point. So Aruba create different product line just for home users, cafeterias, restaurants, barber shops, or something, you name it, and is different because is let's say very good price. I don't want to say low price, but it's very attractive price, and with advanced enterprise features, which we are using for different line for enterprise companies, big companies, wireless. So you have in portfolio indoor access points, then home, let's say, hospitality access point, and then outdoor access point. And what is the advanced features of this one? So you have centralized management system on your smartphone or any smartphone or website, and you have smart mesh, so you can cover any dark site not covered with a wireless. For example, in your house you have second floor, there is weak wireless, so you can cover. Advanced security features like VPA free encryption is in all these access points, is very secure. Personal view, for example, you are running your own business, you have many different restaurants or something, so for each restaurant you can make a personalized view of a network of a guest portal as well, with logos, branding, names, everything, and you can manage multiple networks with just very simple, very powerful access points. And also switches there. Last year just came, and also switches, access points, and central management system. So that's it about this powerful access point. And now is the fun part, Kahoot game. So how we are playing this game, you see here, if you don't have on your phone application, so please type in your phone browser kahoot.it, is like Italy. Then when you open this application or in a browser, here is the pin code. You can type this pin code, then type your name, and then we are playing like this. You see questions on a screen on your computer, and your phone works like choose which is right. Today a game is very simple. It will be just yes or no questions. 5 or 6 questions I believe we prepare. So
and it's about being quick. You gotta be quick with
yeah,
answering.
exactly, very good, that you need to be very quick. Okay, let's see how many registering people. Oh, okay, we have already people is registering. Very good, and soon we will run a game. All right. Very good. Let's wait a few minutes and then we can run. Start. We have 16 people right now. If anyone have troubles to connect or something, just ping in a chat. I will hold on a bit and I'll try to wait for you. So chat, questions, nobody.
And just meanwhile, just saying that
yeah.
Actually, I'm just gonna say it in Estonian regarding POCs and everything. Kui mina ise olen testimise usku, lahenduste testimise usku, kui kellelgi on soov järgi testida Clearpass näiteks siis oma ettevõtte või organisatsiooni keskkonnas, siis neid POC-sid või POC-e oleme me teinud ka siin viimasel ajal ja ka varasemalt hulgil, et ka see variant on olemas. Et kui huvi seal vastu on, siis tasub lihtsalt kellegiga Oiksust ühendust võtta ja kindlasti saame abiks olla. So I think we can start playing.
Yeah, we can start. Okay. Here I see Herman. You are not allowed to win. You know all questions. If it is you or maybe it's not you, I don't know.
Yeah,
all right. Is you okay? Please don't win. Okay, it's a gift for customers. Okay, let's start with the first question. It will be easy. To be honest, I make very easy, too easy, but let's try to play. True or false? Okay. Yeah, you need to be super fast with these questions. Okay. All right. So a spiritual appliance, no, we have also hardware. It's based on HP server. So we have DL360 server and even more, depends on the performance. Okay, let's see who is winning. It's not me, by the way, Andrews, but it's not me. Some another Andrews. True or false? Second question. Okay, one more. Okay, very good. So for sure we have, as Herman mentioned, so many vendors we're integrating, even third-party vendors, and really powerful integration with many of vendors. Okay, Vulcan, good job, Vulcan. True or false? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm making a bit tricky questions, of course, not to be so easy. Yeah, so 50-50 visibility. Yeah, we are providing, as Herman told you, we are providing huge visibility from location, application, IP address, how a user device is integrating or connecting to each network device in a network. So visibility is really huge and in a Clearpass. Okay, Rustam, good job. Okay, Vulcano disappear now. No worries. We have a few more questions. 4, 6. On board. Yeah, I Herman, that's why I ask you a bit to make it explain difference between on board and on guard.
Yeah,
so
now
yeah.
it's easy.
Yeah, but on board, yeah, of course, you are with your phone, you are coming to a company and onboarding yourself. So it's self-registration and secure thing. So yeah, we're providing this with a Clearpass. What do we see? Okay, we see really leaders on a board. Very good. 2 more, 5 and 6. On guard now. As I mentioned, yes, healthy check a bit, like in this pandemic. I was looking for this picture pretty long to find the right one. Mm-hmm. Yes, so it's totally as we have now with the COVID. So if you want to come to a network, You need to be healthy. Then you can come in with updated antivirus with everything. Without this, you cannot come in. All right. Very good. We see leaders. Okay, guys, the last question. So be fast. True or false? About instant on a bit, but also very easy. Okay, now we'll have the winners. Nice. Yeah, to be honest, Aruba even was one of the first winners who announced VPA free authentication and wireless 2018. So it's not so new, 2021, but still, yeah. Small business or enterprise business, we providing secure wireless. So okay, now we have the winners. Andrews is the third place, almost like me without E. Abura second place, and who is the winner? Who is the winner now? Rustam. Very good. Congrats, and very good job, guys. Thank you. So let me just run the latest report, not report, but poll.
Just a quick note about the game. So Rustam, Abura, and Andrus, please take contact with Oiksja, and we'll make sure that you'll get the good stuff as promised.
Yeah. So yeah, congrats, and yeah, contact Oxio. Also, if you are interested about this instant on access points, I believe you can find in Oxio eShop and with a really attractive price. So check it out. It's very good products for if you have at home. And you have your villa or something you can make with same network, secure outdoor, indoor. So very interesting product. All right, so thank you then for today. Thank you, Oxio, for possibility to present Aruba for Estonian customers. We are really happy to participate with Oxio in all wireless and secure network solutions. So let's keep working all together. Keep safe. Don't get this bad virus, COVID, and yeah, have a nice day then. All. Thank you, Herman. Thank you, Tavi, for your presentations.
Thank you, Andrus and Herman, ja suured tänud kõigile, kes osalesid. Kui soovite rohkemat infot Clearpassi osas, siis nagu varasemalt ka mainitud, võtke julgelt ühendust ja kindlasti aitame. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.